Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix.
Hi there, I'm Paul Bryan, and we are in the middle of unfulfilled wine. This is wine in progress.
In Santa Barbara, California, and we're here to show you the 2023 Lexus RX. There are different trim levels, different performance levels, and lots of new updates for 23 because this is a really important vehicle.
Yeah, it is. Not only is it a really important segment of the overall market, but this is where Lexus makes its bread and butter, folks. So it's a very important car.
Right, and so when you think about this mid-luxury SUV, two-row, there's a ton of competition. You got the BMW X3, the Audi Q5, the Volvo XC90, all are in this gigantic category. And I'm sure there's other vehicles that compete. So when people are looking at this vehicle, the Lexus has done very well and the best seller in the category.
It's been a remarkably successful car for Lexus. So they don't want to mess this up. They want to they want to hang on to the customers that they've got so far.
And steal the rest.
So
there's a lot of changes for 23, starting with your three engines. You have gas, a hybrid 350, and a hybrid 500. Plus there are two trim levels. There's now a performance, there's all-wheel drive, there's different packages. In addition, there's going to be a plug-in hybrid. The only thing we can offer you on that is it has the same battery as the NX. We can drive it, but we can't take it off the property, so we'll try and get you some photos we'll post on our Instagram account. Let's get started with some of the changes for 2023. Some of them are pretty obvious, and we don't even have to tell you.
welcome to the front of the RX. Normally you would say, you know, Lexus has got more spindles than the Singer sewing machine factory for sure. And they have continued with that, but on a little bit different theme. It's blacked out. It doesn't look like it's swallowing you up anymore, which I think is really good. It minimizes this while maintaining the design integrity. The headlights on it are going to be available in a couple of different forms, all the way up to a 3-light LED, which is pretty cool. And then the rest of the language that's going on down here, spoiler down here, you want to call it a spoiler, you want to call it a splitter, whatever it may be here. This is technically the splitter here, but it's cleaned up, I think, nicely and tastefully. They're trying to hang on to the stuff that you're familiar with and still give it an edge, and I think they've succeeded. Notice down here, this is silver on the premium model, but if you go to the F Sport, this and other styling cues all the way around the car are blacked out rather than silver.
The base alloy wheel is 19-inch. When you buy an F Sport or a premium trim level, it's 21. And then the wheels turn black, whether it be gloss or matte. There's a couple to choose from. And they're riding on either Goodyear or Michelin tires.
As we noted up on the grill, if you go to the F Sport trim, which is what we're looking at here, this is blacked out. The mirrors are blacked out, and this whole trim piece here gets blacked out as well. And there's some other stuff on the back too. Normally in the lower levels or different levels, they aren't really lower, you're going to see that in chrome rather than black.
One of the things you'll note for 2023 is this has black on the top and the bottom, but also the door handles are new and updated. There is a button behind this, so the handle doesn't open up like you traditionally would think. There's a button, the door opens, and the inside door handle has changed as well. Under the hood of the 500h all-wheel drive is a 275 horse, 406 torque engine, 6-speed transmission, 27 miles to the gallon combined, 0 to 60 time, 5.9 seconds. There will be an available plug-in hybrid electric version coming soon, but not to the US at first. It'll go to Europe. Under the hood of the 350h, you've got 190 horsepower, 275 pound-feet of torque, backed by a CVT transmission, 36 miles to the gallon combined, 0 to 60, 7.4 seconds. Under the hood of the 350 gasoline-powered is a 2.4-liter, 275 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque. That is 20 fewer horsepower, but 50 more torque, so that'll give it a little bit more zip. 8-speed automatic transmission, Front wheel drive, 0 to 60, 7.5 seconds. The all-wheel drive is 7.2 seconds, slightly quicker than the previous model.
Well, I just had my first experience of getting onto an expressway. We're headed south on 101 from Santa Barbara, and I'm less than crazy about it. Okay, it's not a race car. People don't buy this to be a race car. They don't want a race car. They want race car touches. They want to look racy when they show up at the country club or wherever they happen to be going. They want those affectations to their car, but they don't necessarily want to, have 500 horsepower. It's a whole different buyer. The seat is incredibly comfortable. I like the sports seat a lot. I get nice huggies left and right. I can go fast around the corner, yeah. But for the most part, it's really a comfortable chair. I wish it had a little more rake to it like this. But let's get on to the business part. The screen here with all of the controls with the Navi, climate control, radio, all of that. It's big enough that I like it. It's still small enough that I don't feel like I'm in an AMC. Yeah. Remember when you used to whine about the lumbar on the right all the time? I whine about that. I just want a knob to be able to change the volume. Am I asking too much? I don't think so. The steering wheel is nice, good control, stuff that you'd want to see there. I like it's got a heated steering wheel. Everything else is where you would expect it to be, and you don't have to hunt for it. The controls, and I'm going to have to take a look at it in night. You can't see clearly if it's nighttime. Some of them are backlit, which are really nice. Don't know if that's going to happen here or not. I'm enjoying it. The ride, a little bouncy, a little stiff, a little taut, which is not a bad thing. I would much rather have that than feel insulated from the road. I want to know what's going on. Steering is nice and tight, responsive. So overall, I'm thinking it's like about an 8 for Paul.
So I'm behind the wheel of the Lexus RX 350h. There is a 350, there is a 500h. We will drive all of them, but this is the one vehicle they wanted us to get started with because it's all-wheel drive, it's hybrid, so it gets about 36 miles to the gallon combined. And as we drive the roads here in Santa Barbara up to a winery, there's a lot of newness to this. I mean, the head-up display is nice and bright, great information, traffic sign recognition, which a lot of people like. But the initial impression you get is the seats. Now for me, there's lumbar on both sides, major thumbs up from Lexus. This vehicle, we don't have an exact price point yet. Hopefully we'll get that before the end of our time with this vehicle. First thing you notice is there is a ton of nannies. And that is what a lot of people want. Personally, we shut them off, but we left them on so we can get a feel for it so we can explain that to you. So we have lane departure warning, a lot of that. There's a lot of new things, which is standard on all of the RX lineup, which I think is important, that Toyota or Lexus safety suite. So one of the things they add is like motorcycle detection, when you're going to a curve of a road, if you get into trouble, the steering wheel will actually assist. I don't like those things. You may like them, but that's what people in this category want. I want a safe SUV for my family. I want something that I can have a little bit of fun in, that looks stylish and bold, and this vehicle does that. Now, from the driver's seat, the seat is comfortable. The steering wheel, nice and beefy. I wish it had a flat bottom steering wheel. If you're making it an F Sport, which this one is, which is going to be your most popular, we believe, the 350 hybrid, which gets 36 miles to the gallon combined. Same motor, just it's got a CVT, different torque specs. As far as design from the inside, you have a whole new dash in front of you. This new 14-inch screen is real. I like it. Touch screen, thank you. No mouses, no goofy shit. A mix of buttons and touchscreen is fabulous. You can see the navigation is excellent. You got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all the things that people want. On the F Sport, you get the adaptive suspension. You can feel it right away when you get in the vehicle. We're driving in an absolute normal mode, and I like the feel of this. I like the contact with the road. I think it gives it really nice grip and a good confidence. The brakes are very confident as well. But in driving this vehicle, I've also noticed that slightly different design, great visibility out the front, which I think is really important. Besides your mirrors and your backup camera, your round view camera, all that is as expected. It's Lexus. You're buying luxury. You should get that. And I think they've delivered on that. Mark Levinson audio, fabulous. Pure sound audio, brand new for this vehicle. And I think they thought about literally everything. So USB-C, USB, more connections here, tons of charging ports, wireless charging, heated steering wheel, heated seats, ventilated seats, and the same for the back, heated and ventilated, which I think is a big thing for those people that, you know, want to take people with them. They don't want to say the second row is a penalty box. But remember, this is their most popular vehicle in the Lexus lineup, and there's a reason for it. And I think they had to step up their game now that they didn't. Not that it was bad, but they've made it even better. And I give them a lot of credit for changing this interface. It's very expensive to do this. For you as the owner of a car, you think, it's no big deal, just go put a new interface on. No, this is expensive. To integrate everything that they've done, get rid of that old Entune system, move into this new design was a major plus, and also a huge expense from Toyota and Lexus. A huge panoramic roof. Really, the car is so much better. We're going to show you some other things you want to see in just a moment about the cargo area and some of the improvements for 2023. But overall, as far as the driving impressions, I actually like this car. I was very disappointed with the stupid mouse and all that, but this is a whole step up in performance, handling, safety, and of course, technology and features.
The overall dimensions of the car have really not changed. They're about the same. I mean, like within that much. But we've gotten to 38.5 feet of storage space in the back. And also because of a change of trim, the load level in the back has been lowered significantly. So it's a real nice place to put camera gear or whatever else you pick up. When you look at this vehicle versus its predecessor, there are some subtle changes and there are some not subtle changes.
That's for sure.
One of the things that struck me immediately when I got in the car was just hitting the start-stop button on it, which in and of itself these days, you go, but they moved it conveniently higher on the dashboard, which just makes all kinds of sense rather than hidden down below in like the 4 o'clock position.
I think they were thinking about customer use and being able to see things. And speaking of seeing, that new center screen, that 14-inch center screen is spectacular, moves quick. Everything you need is there, and that's a huge improvement because I've always given Lexus a tough time with those horrible mouse. That was
I was just going to say, you know what I was so happy to not see was that frickin' mouse that was in the middle there. What a pain that was.
And then also, there was something in the volume. That was a big plus for you.
Yes.
And for me, the head-up display, which I personally like, when you put your hand over the left side of the steering wheel, you're driving down the road, it shows what's there, and there's multiple screens. By just putting your hand over it, and it showed up right in front of you, both the left and the right side, for changing your volume, hanging up your phone, setting your cruise control. That was smart. I've not seen that technology before.
Overall, there's a big bunch of stuff in this vehicle that is put in there for safety and convenience.
Yep.
Some of the devices that are in there that will keep pace for you in a traffic jam.
Right, the traffic jam assist. Yeah, a lot of companies have had that for a while, so they had to add that. But that proactive drive is interesting.
This really
too.
Worked well. Right. I wish we could have found a traffic jam, but there aren't any traffic jams.
Not in a winery, no.
No. So
the proactive drive, that was great too. So it's sort of it's not autonomous, but it sort of helps you stay in the lane, check your blind spots, and it sort of helps you when you take your foot off the gas, that it actually uses it almost feels like a regen on the brakes. But it's not. And also the 4 degrees of rear steer, that will help you get into those tight parking spots, especially if that was a challenge you had in the previous generation. That's a massive plus.
As you go faster in the car, all 4 wheels will turn in. The rears will turn to a maximum of 4 degrees.
Right.
But if you're at low speed, if you're turning left, the lefts will go like this and the rights will go like this in order to decrease the turning radius.
It makes a big difference, and I think that's what some of the things. And on a design standpoint, I have not always been the biggest fan about the design changes, but this year I'm pretty impressed, starting with this Lexus logo across the back.
I like
it
that.
looks like a Porsche, the new Panamera almost here, and then also tucking that wiper blade up underneath. Very smart. A lot of manufacturers are figuring that out, because when the wiper blade's here, it not just affects the aerodynamics, but it wears out the blade from the sun, the snow, whatever.
Yeah.
And those little blades are really expensive, much more expensive than the front blades.
Yeah, they are.
But overall, I'm really impressed with the new look. I love the colors, some bright new colors, copper colors. This is, what's the name of this color?
It's
like
Grecian water.
Grecian water. I think they sit up at night and come up with these
I
names.
think the blue Aegean.
The sea,
Grecian.
yes, I got
Yeah,
it. It's all
I think
the
that-
Greece thing.
There's a guy that sits in a room and thinks up names for colors.
You could get paid a lot of money for doing that. And I just think they've did a nice job redesigning this, because this vehicle, we don't have a price point. I'm going to guess in that mid-40 range, which is where
Sure.
they've been in the past, because that's where the competition is. And since this is the best-selling mid-luxury SUV, you want to make sure to keep those customers.
Yeah, they didn't want to bump it too much and scare people away, that's for sure.
Right.
So to wrap it up, I think they've done a darn fine job on this.
Well, there's a lot of things we didn't cover on this vehicle, and some things we're still waiting on details, because we got really early access to this vehicle. So if you have any additional questions or comments, put them down there below. We'll contact Lexus on your behalf and get answers, because we want you to make good decisions. Now, if you bought another vehicle, or you've always owned an RX and you're completely loyal, we want to hear that down below. We want to open the conversation so people can learn. If you got value from this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Paul's social media and mine and our podcast and website are all down in the description. We look forward to seeing you next time, and we're looking forward to your comments. We do answer them. Thank you for your support. We'll see you next time.
Can we go see Fulfilled Wine now?